Hello YouTubers. This video is about a subject that's very prevalent in my country, the United States of America. Guns. Now I know some of you out there are not from the United States of America, so you may not have the mindset that we do here. I know some people say, well, what's the big deal about guns? Why are guns so important? I mean, can't the Americans just not have to have so many guns? I mean, other countries don't have very many guns, and they seem to do okay. So what's the big deal about guns in the United States of America? Well, it's all in our history. Guns are ingrained in our culture. Now, this is a series, it's a TV series that I watched, Sons of Liberty, this right here. I strongly suggest that you watch it if you wonder about what the big deal about guns is. It's historically fairly accurate. I give it pretty high marks for how accurate it is about the beginning of this country up to just after the Declaration of Independence is signed. And in fact, Dean Norris, I think that's his name, plays Benjamin Franklin, you know, the guy that was the DEA agent from Breaking Bad. And he makes a really good Ben Franklin. And they're pretty accurate on him. They have him, you know, someone who drinks a lot and womanizes, and that's pretty much how he was. So they don't really glorify people, I mean, the way some of the early history books did. We would not have this country this way had it not been for firearms. We had to use firearms to win our independence. Otherwise, we would have lost, and everything would have still belonged to the crown. In this show, you'll see why it was so important to win our independence. We were fighting forms of tyranny that are beyond what we're experiencing now. But what we're experiencing now is headed that direction once again. This is what happens with government. Government always grows, it's inevitable, and it grows and it becomes corrupt and it becomes tyrannical. That's just the normal flow of things. And once it reaches a certain level of tyranny, then a coup or revolution needs to take place in order to knock it down. Unless you're lucky enough to be able to straighten it out with the ballot box. Lately, that's not working. The ballot box is not doing the trick. So I'm thinking we're getting really close to a revolution. And I know there's some people out there that say, well, you know, we don't need a call to arms. It's not that bad. Well, my question to you is, how bad are you going to let it get? How bad? Taxation without representation. A government that tells people what to do, that takes their freedoms away and their rights. It sounds like tyranny to me. And that's what we're under now. It's not as bad as it was before 1776, but it is getting there. And once it does, there's going to be a tipping point where something has to happen, one way or the other. Either everyone cowers and they just live under the thumb of the government, and that's the way it is, or they take their country back. The whole reason for the Second Amendment, which is simple, hopefully, I have my handy copy of the Constitution right here, and the Declaration of Independence. So I go through here. Okay, there's the amendments. Amendment 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. And when they say militia, they don't mean regular National Guard or military. They are talking about you and me, regular folks that are armed. Okay, that's the first part of it. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The second part of it is the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Not the right of the government, not the right of the police department or the sheriff's department or any other national or local police force. The right of the people, ordinary citizens, shall not be infringed. It doesn't say with a gun length limit of such and such, a barrel limit of 18 inches. It doesn't have any of that. All that garbage has been added. It's a simple, short amendment. I don't know why people have difficulty understanding it or interpreting it. What's the interpretation? It states exactly what it means. Nothing to it. That means nothing that would chill that is allowed. We've already been too complacent and allowed too much of it already. As far as I'm concerned, the National Firearms Act needs to go down, needs to be reversed. All the anti-gun bills need to go away. They're all unconstitutional, every one of them. Because they're affecting a right. If it was a privilege, it would be different. In other countries, it's a privilege to own guns. In this country, it's a right. It's a God-given right. If you don't believe in God, it's a natural given right. Either way, it's a right that belongs to us. The government does not have enough authority to take that away. In fact, we are the authority over the government, and they need to remember that. They seem to have forgotten that over the years, and we let them. So that's on us for letting the government run away with power. And it's also up to us to straighten it out. That's why the Second Amendment exists. Because the guns are there. The Second Amendment's not about hunting or recreational shooting, although those things are factors with guns. It is about a society, a people, that in order to maintain the freedoms that they have and the rights they have to protect themselves from tyranny, up to and including use of firearms and deadly force if necessary. That's why it's such a big deal about guns in the United States. I know that was a bit of a rant, but anyway, thanks for watching. I welcome your comments.